I gave you a title.
What's the description?
Setting up webinar for Facebook Live.
Okay, now before you hit go final live, copy in on the actual post the link to the Zoom and to Discord.
No, it is too late for that.
Is it?
Yes, because I have apparently sent this. We're live on Facebook.
Right on. Hey, check it out. Ready? Hey, Pex. I'm going to turn. We have Pex in the audience here because we're going to share the actual link to us live on Zoom because we're actually going to start doing this with the Discord channel at Frog Eye Games. But
so this is live on.
We want to do a Q&A. So Skeeter, can you edit that post and put the link in there for it?
No.
Yes, you can.
No, I don't think I can.
I'm sure you can.
What am I doing?
Go into the post you just made on Facebook.
Yes.
And place a link in there for this feed. We have 4 attendees now. See, people are showing up, and you're behind the times, man.
Okay. No, I posted something. I don't know what's happening. I'm all excited. I'm like a puppy.
Skeeter did something. So hey, it's me with I hate to say companion. What would I say?
Hey, no, we are platonic life partners.
Life partner. Here's my life partner, Skeeter Green.
And only platonic because it makes it sound better.
The show has started. And it says, feel free to join to copy and paste that to Skeeter. Okay. Skeeter, I'm copying and pasting something to you.
Okay. What?
You can actually figure it out now. I'm sure of it.
Oh my God. We have panelists that I don't know who the fuck they are.
They can be able to ask questions and everything.
Who is this? Who are these people?
Well, I can let them talk if you want to.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Supposedly I am in control of this.
All right, Skeeter, here comes.
Seems like a terrible idea.
There's the link, Skeeter, to post on Facebook. And so, why are we doing this? We're doing this because supposedly we can get Q&A stuff. We can do polls because we think it's funny. We're still doing it on Facebook for the old people like Skeeter and I who would never figure it out without the unsung hero, Pex, who was here earlier, John Barnhouse. We actually, we owe Pex because he does all the dirty work and some of the intellectual work for us at Frog God and now for.
I love that little ogre.
He's a cuddly little man cub and he's becoming like awesome. So anyway.
Hey, I'm going to pin that comment.
You should
pin that comment. Oh, I can only pin one.
All right.
So I pinned the link. Join our cloud video.
There
Join us in the cloud.
In the cloud. You know,
is that like cloud
less than it does now?
Roar.
Pex roared.
Pexosaurus Rex.
Yes, that's right. So I'm going to share your stream on my channel.
I'm going to share a stream with you too.
No, that one.
Please. No.
Save that for the kink. Yeah, the kink goes.
Yeah, that's the kink channel. While Zach is working
that's Bad Mike's channel.
While Zach is working on sharing my stream, I would like to share something I received in the mail. Sea King's Malice by Alex Kramer.
Krampus, right? Oh.
Axel Krampus. It's even signed by him, I think. Could just have been someone having a seizure.
I'll tell that story as soon as I find your feed here. So no, he decided he got sideswiped because we said, hey, will you sign the books at a stretch goal level? Ooh,
see those boats?
Yeah.
Alyssa Fadden.
I know. Alex Kramer fell for the oldest trick in the book. Bill Webb called and said, hey, will you sign the book? I said, sure.
Yeah. Never do that.
Never ever do the first thing that Bill suggested. All right. Now I found it. Now share it. All right. And
the art in this book is amazeballs. Very nice. I find it delectable. It's wonderful. I also received the Ken Spencer Rocky Cape.
Yes.
Look at that cover.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude.
These that make you get creepy.
Okay, so I'll tell a story real quick of the soft covers. The soft covers actually, the paper's 100 pounds. Look at that. Oh, no, that one is very nice. Susie did that, rescued it from somebody who was unable to finish. Look at that. That's one of the nicest softcover books we ever made, and Susie did that.
And it's heavy.
It's because it's 100-pound paper, 100-pound high gloss paper, real nice stuff.
It is 42 pages. This is the best part. This is my favorite.
Alex's, that's in the main book too.
That is my favorite part of this. I think that was an excellent design choice, and I'm happy that that choice was made.
Oh, I'm happy too because honestly, it yeah, that one was laid out by Mrs. Elizabeth Stewart, or I call her Monday Liz.
So what I really want is I want on the PDF to have a link to a soundbite of Mr. Steve Marsh actually pronouncing this correctly,
Ooh,
so we can get it done.
ooh.
I would also like to write a module about the boulate and have Mr. Tim Kask pronounce it correctly, so all y'all can just go fuck
It's
yourselves.
not his anymore to say how it's pronounced. It belongs to all of us now.
No,
I hope he hears that because then he'll come beat me.
yeah, please have that conversation with him. Okay, the Sea King's malice appendices here. I am outraged by this. The stapling, it's off. It's not in the spine. It's
Well, you
off.
know, I will walk down the
Shabby,
street to the people who print those books in my town and let them know that they do not meet your high standards.
shabby workmanship.
I
I totally kidding. A dead
haven't
man's
seen that one
chest.
yet.
Dead man's chest. This soft cover is almost as heavy as the hardback. I am not kidding. The paper
It puts
weight
the
of
edge of what
this.
stapled pages means.
Yeah, I mean, this is 75 pages, which is technically impossible. It would have to be 76 because we have one blank page. Uh, it's it's weighty.
It's
It's
full color
meaty.
too. Good stuff.
Yeah, and they look great. They really look amazing.
Yeah, we have a. It all started with Jim Wampler helping us start with the covers because before the CEO, who was a fine man, wasn't a huge believer in the value of art on the covers because they were selling soft covers back when White Wolf was selling stuff. It didn't matter what was on it, people bought it. And so he was slow moving into thinking that that was a really important sales part. But I think that he became convinced after we did Rappanathic. So I actually sold a bear
Ian,
because of
you know
that.
better than to ever listen to me anyway. So you know I would not write that module without you guys.
Which one? Deadman? Which one?
No, Ian threatened to cut me if I write a boulate
Oh,
module.
well, you know, he might. That's a, yeah. Ian, please don't cut Skeeter because I still kind of need him to be like, he needs to be somebody who can be, oh, I also want somebody who's worse than you in something, everything. Just a little bit worse. You always feel a bigger person around them. That's what I need Skeeter for.
Hmm. I
Oh,
think
shit.
there
Did I
was a
say that out loud or
compliment
just
in
think
there
it?
somewhere. I'm sure of it. And it came in very nice. Look at this stout packing box that is actually imprinted with the frog logo motif.
On the back too, huh? I think it's on the inside too.
Oh yeah, don't go down the well.
That's right.
Yeah, and it came very well protected. Everything was in wonderful shape. So when you get your box of stuff, uh, it even smells of the ocean.
I think that's more like a wetland swamp where he lives, but still.
No, it does not smell like an
No
ocean.
Silverdale? No. No, but honestly, the boxes, I was actually told Pex that I would do some time on Discord doing Q&A about actual legit RPG stuff. But the boxes were a long, hard push to make happen. And once they happened, they were so good and came out just perfect what we needed that we're probably going to get another run just for the big project that launches next week because they're going to be a little bit different sized.
There's a big project.
There's a huge project. It's made me tired and made Pex tired too.
There's a big project. Please tell
They're,
us more about the big project.
well, I would love to tell you more about the big project. If people like swords and wizardry, and they, like Matt Finch, you ever heard of him?
Uh, no.
He did something once. I think he gave the finger to Hasbro when they called him and asked him to not put up Osric. That was the beginning of Matt Fish's being like a boss.
I don't think that is true at all.
No,
I
he told me
think
the
you're.
story, and it's a metaphor for,
Oh,
will you take it
okay.
down? No, click.
Oh,
That's the same
okay.
thing.
No, that makes more sense. I thought you were just telling a story about Matt that he was eventually going to have to be a guest. He would have to lower his standards and be a guest on this show
So
to refute your
he didn't have to do
erroneous
anything.
claim.
He didn't have to do anything. That's part. He can refute you just by being around.
Did you hear all those words that actually made sense that came out of my face?
That's what I stopped listening.
I
Pex wants to know who is Matt important. He's about to be real important to you, Pex. You have busy month. So no, so we're re-releasing. People have asked us forever for a box set for Swords and Wizardry. That was there was one once upon a time. I do not own one. I've only seen one. Bad Mike has one. I think I saw one on the shelf of Matt Finch's behind his desk when he did YouTube shows all the time.
Which one?
White Box by Larry of Halfling.
Oh, yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah. Well, they go like $200. Well, anyway, we have been investigating and then slowly working towards a.
You mean this book?
No, that's the first one he did. Yes, that's the one where he was like a boss. Told him what's up. No, we're making a box set for Swords and Wizardry, and
You
it's
mean this
going
book?
like that book, except for that book is not Swords and Wizardry, but it can be used with it. Man, you were like the best sidekick ever. Keep holding up stuff that aren't related.
You mean
Like
this
that
book?
So
The,
I can release
the non-vagina cover?
We will not say it that way. We'll say that's not the third print cover. What we are going to say is that we are making box sets. We're making two kinds of box sets, one that's limited and one that's.
You mean that book?
Yeah, no, that's a part of this. That speaking of that, because that is the
Oh, Jesus! All
impetus
the
for
books
some of
fell
this
over.
actually get it done. Because people have been asking for printed copies of monstrosities for a long time, and we don't have any. I have one that props up one of my monitors. I mean, it makes Pex mad. I have one of those there, and I have one that's I use on my shelf. But we are out of monstrosities, and so we were thinking of ways we could make sure it's available again. We're talking about all kinds of ways to do Swords of Wizardry, and we finally, after prodding, look at that. I like it. So you put problem on there, put I don't want to say who, somewhere we know, and put Pex as a solution for all of it.
Pex is the solution. It
He's
doesn't
the
even
solution.
matter what the question is.
Yeah, it's true, both good and ill. No, but we're making a box set. It's going to be we're not changing the rules of Swords and Wizardry, but after years of prodding and finally getting so old and tired, he gave up. Matt Finch decided that we're going to expand Swords and Wizardry with optional rules that won't be in the box, but probably the first expansion book may find its way to this Kickstarter.
I'm not bitter about that at all.
No, I heard that you were against it.
Yeah, that was my idea like a decade ago that we
I've
should
heard
do
that it
that,
might have been.
but it did not gain traction.
Well, if you were handsome and smart like me, you could have convinced him.
I wouldn't listen to me either.
Pex wants to know how I use a $200 book to balance my computer. Well, my computer costs more than that, Pex.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so no.
Do you really want to tell the story about computers?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think you wanted to segue into that one.
Not yet.
That there was an error made.
Yeah, you could say that.
Anyway, okay, so box set. So
Box set, no.
When are we going live?
Like the size, because it's not any different. The contents of the box and the books are no different than Swords of Wizardry Complete, which is what we are considering the canon rules. Those are the rules that we consider to be Swords and Wizardry as it is. But much like the original D&D, we're going to have expansion books, and they're going to be the same size as the box set. Like that would be like this size. Oop, like that. Digest 6 by 8.6. 5.8. 7.
You can do it.
5 by 6 by 8.4 or something. Anyway, they got trim size. I got it from Region. 4 books are in there. That's all the rules.
Small.
There'll be 4 books in there. They're going to be between 48 and 64 pages. It looks like.
I learned this when I was on a different online show.
Small.
No, but having little sticky notes that you can raise every once in a while.
No, that's a smarter than we would ever come up with. We're good at like middle fingers. I'll be a nice balance of 5e and Swordsbury content. You guys are the best third-party 5e D&D company. Thank you very much. We think we are. Still dream of Stoneheart 5e. Well, dream no longer because Stoneheart 5e is actually coming. And it's going to come in a little bit different form, but it's going to be awesome. I've already seen the maps. They're great. And then but on the box set, we have some options there, Skeeter Green. We're going to do some things differently than we've done before. we're not going to use a backer kit, so we're not going to have many options. The options are in the form of stretch goals that make the box better. But the start is, if you are a day one backer, you get a early bird pledge. So you'll be wave one ship,
Well,
and you'll be a little bit cheaper.
You got to tell me about that so I can back that.
We're deciding how to break it down, since we have two boxes. We have a collector's box, and we have a box that is we're going to do like a retail box.
Which I think is kind of not fair that I still have to back the Kickstarters, but that is a complaint.
I back yours.
I will just have deep in my chest.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's okay. No, so there's the collect.
I like to support small publishers.
Well, thanks. Nice bounce. And then yes, you heard it. Okay, so no, and there's a collector box that's limited, and then there's the retail box. Now, there's a few other things coming inside the. Let's start with this. Inside the box itself, the box contents between the collectors and the regular are the same. It's the box that's different, and you'll see when we launch Kickstarter exactly why, and it'll make you chuckle. It's really pretty awesome.
Is it a metal box?
No, it's out with the old and in with the new kind of thing. We're celebrating its roots, but we're also trying to make it a broader, a bigger audience. Because Swords of Wizardry is so much like when you're actually at a table. If you're watching a game of Swords of Wizardry and watching 5e, and you never played the game, it's almost indistinguishable. It's just faster playing and a little deadlier. And so we want people to know that if they want to play a game and play it quick, they can play Swords of Wizardry, and it has a lot of similarities. It's not just for old people anymore, right? It's for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
I take that as a personal attack on my agedness.
I'm trying to sound young because I play Swords of Wizardry.
Do you though?
Nah, mostly.
Do you though?
When I go to cons, that's what I play. I play Bill's version and then Matt's version, which is more like.
Yeah, that's not Swords of Wizardry. To be fair, it's not Swords of Wizardry. Swords and Wizardry real light.
Yeah, but anyway, so but the contents of the box are the same, and they get better with funding, obviously. And so the stretch goals we're expecting are inside the box are possibly character cards like the ones we have Swords of Wizardry Light that are nice and referenced cards that well done. A small pad of character sheets like the old days, dice possibly. Yeah. I know you get it, it's gonna rattle, and possibly
Can we just randomly put a crayon in there?
I wish
for no purpose.
I asked. Damn. They didn't see the humor or the reason.
Damn it. What about a little golf pencil?
They didn't see the reason, but
who are they making these decisions?
They're the people who, when you ask them how much it costs and they say, we can do it for an extra $6 a box, they're the ones that's saying no, just politely. No, but
damn you people with reason.
The other things that are going to happen is we're planning on the expansion book, and we'll talk about that, the Kickstarter, what it is. And we are planning on there being a module, and we're going to redo kind of how we do some specialty Swords and Wizardry modules. Because do you remember a module, Skeeter Green, called like against the Frost Giant Jarl, or the Glacial Rift of the Frost Giant Jarl?
Yeah, I was going to say, no, I don't remember the first one.
It was against the giants he was in there. Bam.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You're recording this. That's what I hate. That will be remembered, long remembered.
Forever.
Yeah, against the Frost Giant Jarl. That's our sequel we're making. No, you decided a title. No,
thank you.
Do you remember how like you get those and you're like they were as thin as the cover almost? Because they gave you information, but they didn't give you descriptions. They gave the GM a lot of levity to play out they wanted without having, like, you don't have to use those kinds of things in the 5e books. And I get this argument all the time. To me, more is better if you're going to get the option. However, because we love old style modules and we think that 5e modules don't always work back towards Swords and Wizardry, we're going to make gatefold, detachable covered, small modules that have between 8 and 12 pages of that size that are going to be just real quick romps through a dungeon or a short tomb, just like you TSR used to do, so we can see how that goes with Swords and Wizardry, which will still be making the bigger books that do all the everythings, but we'll be making those for people who are just fans of that, and to actually hopefully show people who like 5e how much fun those could be in an evening, as opposed to the evening prepping your game. You can have the evening playing it if you'd like, and you can show your parents how to play that, because honestly, it's that easy. My parents could have learned how to play from Bill Webb. I've seen people of all ages learn to play because if the rules are quick and easy and we want to have that.
Right.
Ability.
That
But
is
if
true.
you want to play 5e after that, please play all the 5e you want. We love that too. We do. So
We very much do.
And finally, I think you remember, God, it was a while ago. Do you remember they had like screens for Sword Wizardry?
What do you mean by screen? Do you mean a standalone wall dividing the game referee from the players? Is that what you mean by
I would say it's
screen?
more of it's for the mystery of the theater of the game. But yes, that's what I mean.
You mean so those fuckers can't tell when I'm cheating with the dice?
Exactly what I mean. Skeeter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think I got it now.
Okay, we had those for Swords and Wizardry. We didn't have the ability to get them made real fancy at the time, and we had some of those. But we this time will have a four panel W folded screen with one continuous piece of art by Michael Saragos. I think is how he told me it's produced. That is very, very awesome. It's both kind of modern and older. And that is the piece of art that looks like that's going to derive the box cover from, so they will match in a very cool way that I haven't seen in a while.
since the books are small, is the screen going to be small or large?
This is news to Pex. This has happened today. This is why Pex is there. He has to learn stuff by watching our show. Even he's there. He's been working on this all hard. We decided today that after some input on a chat I had in Discord, we can make them so they will fit in the box, same size box. So half height, but 4-panel wide at digest. So about 36 inches wide in a 4-panel by about 5 inches tall. So there's actually a screen design on that box that's not as, it doesn't hide you as well.
5 inches is adequate.
Yeah, you can
I
hide
swear to this.
You can't hide everything. It's like 5.5 inches tall.
Ooh, and get that extra half an inch.
It's more of like a friendly fence than it is like a screen, man. 5 inches is national average, says Mage. Well, Mage, you came to the right show to say that kind of stuff. We're an above average show here. We don't know that's for sure, but we can say all we want, right?
We're certainly not going to prove it on the show.
No, not until it's pay-per-view, and only then maybe.
Yeah.
We have to have stunt cocks, I guess is the term for it.
Yes, little chickens with helmets.
Exactly. Orgasmo by the Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I got that. So anyway, it's pretty exciting because it brings it kind of back to the day. The Swords and Wizardry Complete hardcover will still be for sale. The second print with the Earl Otis cover. So basically you can buy a box. You can buy a box with all 3 of the extra items, so it makes a pack. So you get the box plus the screen plus the expansion plus a little module. Or you buy a collector's box and the same again with all the pieces. So
can I buy a collector's expanded box so I can put all of my modules in one box?
You may go down to your nearest Hobby Lobby and find a shoebox. It's a little there.
All right. I would do that, except I do not support Hobby Lobby.
Okay, then
that is a personal preference.
The other unhobby lobby.
Yeah. Or I could just buy some shoes.
You wear shoes. Michaels. See, thank you, Pex. Pex said Michaels. How do you know about Michaels, Pex? You don't strike me as the kind of guy who knows crafts.
Yes, I am going to pledge to sell a bigger box with a crayon and pencil and alternate dice set.
The first con we probably had the boxes at will probably be we'll have them by the time we get to a Game Con. Then Skeeter will sell you the pencil and the crown that go with it to complete it.
Yes. I will sell them in a cup. I will be wearing dark sunglasses, standing on a corner, selling pencils and a crayon.
No, yes. And so we have there are options. We're gonna have stretch goals that will make the options better. We really want to be a very nice set that can be you can introduce Swords and Wizardry and other people. You can enjoy it in a format that's very similar to the old kind of game. It's still completely compatible with the stuff we have, and most importantly, I think it deserves to have it in a very nice package that we can put on display in stores and sell, that we're real proud of for people who want to give it as a gift. Because the Earl Otis art is great for Earl Otis and for all of us fans of Earl Otis, but for those who've never seen it, it's a little weird, kind of psychedelic. And so this is a little more traditional. and it's going to be awesome.
I love our new format. We got a question.
Okay.
Would like to ask what type of questions we can ask.
Anything you
What's
want.
your subject of expertise? I replied with anything. We know nothing equally.
Ian said that good. Yeah, well, that's true. We do know nothing anyway. Ian said something about the social media, the bye session 0, and that's kind of the point of it. Is to you're still playing a role playing game, you're still playing D&D, but if you don't have a set time for session 0, you can still play with everybody the same night. We think that's actually one of the selling points of it is fast, deadly, and fun.
Oh, I replied to the disregard that answer.
Yep.
Which one, Pax? Which book? And yes, we do need a Goddammit Zach crayon.
Can I pick the color?
Only if it's
white.
Never mind.
Yeah.
See this? Tell us
book.
who this artist is, Zach.
Earl Otis.
Do you see that there are little tabs on this book?
I do.
Because that's what I do to books.
Well, the best thing is that one of the options.
This is my working copy.
One of the options on the Kickstarter.
Number 244 of 500.
Hey, it's worth less because somebody signed it.
It's worth less because it's mine.
Oh, that's true. No, but we're one of the things we were thinking about including if they get enough funding again is cards that have all the information you need to play on it for the classes. So you have, rather than putting tabs in your book, you have it there for you, man, right there.
Yeah. No, all bullshit aside, I've been hearing about this product for quite a while behind the scenes, and it really the impetus behind it is to make a very usable yet still durable
approachable
product.
Yeah.
So you don't have to carry the big books around. They fit in a backpack really easy. I mean, the box set will get demolished, but you don't have to carry the box set with you. You can just carry the books and they'll be fine.
And we're not changing the PDFs that are for like the PDFs for Sword Wizard Complete Rules are still free to everybody, the ones we have now. The expansion books we're making, we're probably going to release in digest form. So the PDFs will be small. We don't know yet. We're not sure of that. How popular they are really depends on what we want to do because we can do multiple formats.
I gotta talk to some people in charge and see if I can help out on this project.
I think you probably already had the stuff to help out with. You just have been withholding it because you didn't get to do what you wanted to do for 10 years. You have 10 years back up in your brain.
I got a lot of stuff backed up in my brain.
That's the truth. One of the news, there'll be a book of adventures with it. There will be an adventure with it, most likely. Darren Morris Smith from Facebook. Yes.
Yes.
Plan. And we are finalizing what that's going to be. It's going to be an old school style quick romp through I'm sure the tomb of Matt Finch's head. No, we have a good idea, but I can't say yet.
And for anybody, so the next convention, the bulk of the group is going to be at is Total Con. In 1 month.
Yes.
Less than 1 month, I think, by a couple of days. Zach's going to be there. Bill's going to be there. Matt's going to be there. Edwin and Susie. And Eric's going to be there. Tenkar.
And Tom Wilson will be there, I believe. Who's working on a project with us, will announce probably there.
Yep. And I will be there wandering around. So if anybody has any live questions that they want behind the scenes answers about, I'll tell you anything you want to know. But it has to be live and you cannot record it, and I will deny ever saying it.
Yeah, we plan on, one of the reasons we're on the Zoom, so you can come in these rooms as well, is because we have the Frog God Discord actually become kind of active so people can ask us questions in advance. We can actually have people suggest show ideas because Skeeter's running out of them, man.
I have not run out of shows. I could talk shit forever. I'm like the Energizer Bunny of shit talking.
God, that must be a joy to be married to.
Less than you would think.
Oh, okay. So,
which is why I'm trying to stop doing it.
So that's what's coming up in our upcoming Kickstarter. We're hoping to make it a simplified way to order it. There's not going to be a ton of add-ons. You're just going to have a few choices, but it's going to go without backer kit. You will pick it up like once it's ready to go. You come to the store, you'll check out, you pay your shipping there, and it will be on its way to you. And we think that
I
it's
was
great.
dared. Hold the fucking phone. You dare me to shit talk what CR? Like challenge rating? I'm not sure what
We're gonna
CR
talk
necessarily means.
CR. Oh, Critical Role.
Oh, critical role? Um,
Don't do it, Skeeter. Don't get baited.
you know I am the
Use that close.
easiest to bait.
I know.
Let's see. What would I shit talk about critical role? Honestly, I think critical role is great. People can I have only watched a few episodes of it. I think the concept of having something like that
You can't mute a panelist.
and having the voice actors, I think it's great. And if other people want to decide it's famous people shitting on the hobby, I disagree.
More the merrier. That's
I
what I
I
think.
think I think if a show like that gets one more person
To
to
enjoy
uh,
it.
to come out of the shadows and say, yes, I want to play D&D or I want to play any role
Yeah.
playing game, I don't think it's a bad thing. Same thing when I was on Wizards of the Couch and the people who shit on Joe Manganiello for being, oh, he's famous.
He's awesome.
He's coming out of the woodwork and all this stuff.
No,
No,
he's
the
joining.
dude is a gamer.
Yeah, I
And
saw him play. He
I
invited
think
his
he's
paladin horse into the middle of a dungeon.
I think he's people like that are great for the business. I don't have anything I can say.
Okay, with
So
the overall
if
volume of
you
panelists, that means it becomes brothers come from. Oh, I see. I'm trying to figure out. You can't but lower the overall volume for the panelists. Then it becomes. Oh, okay. I wish I could actually mute you, Skeeter. I just couldn't.
yeah, and there's a way to mute people, but
There is, but not the other panelists, not the other guy on the panel.
he gave me control because he couldn't get this on Facebook.
Oh,
So
that's why I can't do it. You're the
who's your daddy?
guy. Oh,
Who's your daddy?
oh, I just walked into that like walking on a D4, dude.
Yeah, he did. That was one of those metal sharp D4s. So you fucked up, son.
That's right.
You
You know
gave
what?
this
You want to hear
control of that.
You want to hear my Joe story about Joe Manziel?
Sure.
So while I was sitting home minding my own business, and I got a sudden.
Are you supposed to tell this story?
Yeah, I can tell it.
Okay.
I got a sudden message. It was hey,
It's called
you
an
have a
instant
Japanese
message,
player's
you
handbook.
fucking
You have a
knob.
Japanese player's handbook that you can send somebody. Sure. Who? And it was Bill Meinhardt asking me if we could send one for his show, and he needed one. He needed one right away. Like, where are you gonna go? Apparently, me. So I was
You are the repository of
Japanese
off language.
That's
games.
exactly true. I have I have a Finnish version of Cyberpunk.
Of course you do.
Yes, of course I do.
Because if a thing like that exists,
well, I still have the Hungarian. There's a Hungarian box I don't have.
Yeah.
I should make Evan get it for me. Okay, so what we normally do is we talk about other games. We're going to talk briefly, though I have a bunch of them here, because we like to say give our opinions about games we don't know very much about, and then we can look. We sound like we're smart. We're certainly certain of these opinions, but they're
I don't think we sound smart at all. And if anyone is saying, "Oh yeah, they're intelligent,"
stop it. See, I can't mute you. So, God damn, I got to ask you too nicely. Oh, look at that smile. I got someone ringing the door. Nah.
No, I muted myself so you could feel like you had some power.
Thank you. I was wondering about that. Okay, so as we all know, everybody heard it a million times. This, let's see if we can see it well. Chainmail, the origins of Dungeons and Dragons, as the fantasy supplement here in the back of Chainmail. I'm going to tell you my Chainmail story in a sec, but right here, the page starts on. It's like the last 14 I'll look up. Oh, look, it's signed by one of the authors. Jeff Perrin.
He's signed by one of the authors.
You should go to Garrett Card just for that. Fantasy Supplement starts on page 28. It goes on for apparently 10 or 11 pages. So your origins of D&D are from this whole book, this many pages.
In a digest.
Laid
out the way they did back then.
And half of it are tables. like the jousting matrix.
Jeez. Yep.
Yep. The fantasy reference table.
And to think, all of this that's going on now came from that.
Came from this little book
40 years ago.
The main game
50
is,
years ago.
I want to say it's 13th century, 14th century combat. And
D&D did not start in the 13th century.
No, the game itself is based on that realistic medieval combat, and then they changed it for the fantasy part. And so everybody knows the story better than I do, but I've heard it 100 times. The thing about it's interesting is I played Chainmail at one of the Gary cons I went to in the sand table, Gary Gygax sand table. It was terrible. There was not one thing about it I enjoyed. I hated the whole experience from beginning to end. It was boring. You argue the entire time.
Wait a minute. I can actually hear your geek credibility circling the toilet bowl now.
Hold on. It taught me something, though. It taught me that back in the 70s, anything you did in Wisconsin was exciting, which on Saturday afternoons, there was like 4 options. And apparently one of them was to play war games. Thus, we're going to talk about some war games, Skeeter.
I think it was either war games, the Packers, or milking a cow. I think those were your options.
The one that Gary
or freezing to death in the snow.
The one that Gary and they were first playing when they got into war games was Gettysburg, Avalon Hill. And the Avalon Hill games, Avalon Hill was formed by, I think, veterans from World War II that made a series of games that got really famous, like this one, in that kind of form factor, and made many, many more. And then eventually were hired by Hasbro, bought by Hasbro to do nothing with it, really, that I can tell.
Yeah. No.
But growing up, that's what I always saw. You could buy war games everywhere growing up. You could buy war games, a parrot.
What we need is Kurt Gould to weigh in.
Yeah,
on that.
We should, but I haven't seen him yet.
No.
Chainmail is like a caveman painting compared to modern systems that are impressionist masterpieces. This is true, but you had to be there, man. In the game, they argued about splash damage on a catapult for 30 minutes, and in a sand table that was this big, with 12 people playing this game to experience what it was like, and we got the full experience, I assure you.
Oh boy!
But it taught me what I don't love about those kind of games, because arguing about rules is way less fun than playing games. Avalon Hill, bless their heart, made rules that are almost impossible to argue about because they were so thorough.
and now 50 years later we're still arguing about games.
Yep.
Just differently.
So at random, I'm going to read you a paragraph, Skeeter.
Please do.
Breastworks.
I like it so far.
If you're built in any hex, only infantry units may build breastworks. The construction of breastworks is a 2-step procedure. A, an infantry unit in any state of IC. So now, there was never going to be a question. And I actually enjoyed war games when I was younger. The ones that were made by Avalon Hill, the easier ones, I thought were great. But
it's always those kind, Spoon. Always.
Yes, it is. The original war games that you get from Avalon Hill. Well, this one's old. It still has the. Actually, I always want to fill these up.
I still giggle when people talk about chicken breasts too.
It's true. There you go. There's the card. Here.
Mage is our man.
Half the board. Hexes. That's where hexes came from, was war games. Right?
See, I know about, Spoon is talking about Campaign for North Africa. And I know about that because I read a post about how god awful that was.
Oh, well, you should hear 1914.
Because it takes like a month to play.
Oh, no. We were getting there, Skeeter Green. I have.
Oh, boy. Nope.
We'll get there. So Gettysburg, that's the rule book right here. About that thick. The board with the hexes. And a couple supplements. A couple of reference sheets. And a lot. Ooh, these are unpunched. I didn't know that. Of these.
To even get in one of these war games like this, I would need to have a cocaine enema hourly to keep involved in that game. At North Texas, I played in one of Marshall's games, and I was.
Hey, Tolcon, can you get Skeeter cocaine enema?
I was dying.
Ian.
I
Okay. Right on
I
then. My bad.
thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna step in this game and I'm gonna play for a little while. And it was like after 3 hours, I hadn't even fucking gone yet.
Now, to that point, to that point, these games from here, I think they want to say that Gettysburg took like 6 or 8 hours for a full one.
Spoon and Sand is like 1,000 hours on
Yeah,
the
no, I have a
on the
game I could not
conquest of
even
North
begin to bring out
Africa.
here called the Flames of War. No, World in Flames. World in Flames, not Flames of War. World
Yeah,
in Flames.
Flames of War is
It's
different.
a full recreation of World War II. It has maps that actually literally are 9 feet long by 18 feet wide that
You
you can put
know,
on your wall with magnets. I have it.
yeah, how long was actual World War II?
It would take longer to set up than actually
Because
fight
I
World War II.
think the fucking game
But
takes longer
it
than the
has a
war.
computer program that does your calculation of supply and everything else, so you can go in a week and at a con
No,
you could get all the way to Warsaw in 1939.
nope,
Yeah, no,
nope.
it's really nifty, and really, if your thing is logistics and supply, that's the game. The game of actual combat is a few dice, and then you kind of go on. But figuring out how to get
If
stuff from
you
A to
are a
B is what matters,
boring
and that's
as
what World War
fuck
II for Russia
accountant,
was.
you should not be playing war games.
True.
No, that I take that back. That was elitist of me. Everybody should play games. And if you
Yep.
enjoy that, play the hell out
Please
of it.
play that game with other
Never
people who enjoy
invite
it.
me.
I go to Einflod in Washington in May,
Yes.
and they play war games there. I don't see a lot of those. I see miniatures war games, and I
No.
see some like historical war games are a little different, but I do not see anybody sitting down for a long game of Pacific War, the struggle against Japan. I was in Guam,
Dude.
and I saw a museum about this. It seemed really miserable. So you're going to recreate what it'd be like to be on a crappy island with little food and lots of big shells landing in your direction.
You were
Always,
just at
always
that
makes me laugh.
island.
So this one has.
You loved that island.
I'm digging. Still going. Oh, that's still going.
At least you're getting your consumer dollar worth.
Well, I feel like I could, and also mostly unpunched. I think I got this one the same people because unfortunately I'm flawed. This is a sad story, so I'll have a serious face. I'm flawed has estate sales. And what happens is because war games aren't a huge growing hobby, you'll go to a big war game convention, people who have passed away that had, like me, more games they could play, they become available. And people like Bill Webb and I are like carrion beasts feasting on these carcasses. But Bill is actually what makes him a nice person is that he'll give extra money for the widow and for everything else when he buys it. Yeah, I just pay. I learned from you.
You're awful.
I know.
I actually bought I bought something at Enfilade. It was a Deadpool pocket watch.
Stop. If that's the Jen I think it is, she's in big trouble. I'm going to have him start running these games. You buy it, you run it.
That's not how purchasing games works.
That's against the rules.
What, are you new?
I was checkmated.
Come on,
dude.
sis.
I was just checkmated.
That's not how that works.
I know. But I've been checkmated. I hate
You
that.
have. Well.
So anyway, this one is I still have half a box to go through with all these out of it. So that's another one.
Oh, now she's just getting vicious.
Was it
tears the shrink wrap off slowly?
That's okay.
That hurts Alex Creamer.
That does. And also Bill Meinhardt and all these guys that it's them you're hurting. Once you think of the Meinhardt. So another example is this fine pin.
That just has bitchin' art.
Doesn't it? I, as a kid, saw this at a garage sale for 25 cents. And I bought it and took it to my gifted school class and never saw it again. So I had to rebuy it. Rules play.
There we go.
And I always wanted to actually play this one. And it's still punched on the bottom. Yep. No, this one's totally punched. They're all falling out. This has got cards.
Nice.
Movement. And the problem I have is with these games is that's the piece. There. I can't read it.
That is small.
Yeah. See?
That is a small boy.
Yeah. There it is. And it says You must be this young to play this game. No. Anyway, but this one was pretty neat because it's the first science fiction one I ever saw. And I think that, unfortunately, the Edgar Rice Burroughs books don't get the kind of rep they should. I think that the John Carter books are awesome. I like them a lot. I can't say I like better because if I say Robert E. Howard's better, then I get people beat me up.
I'll even go so far as to say I enjoyed the movie.
You know, I'm going to go a rare moment here. I'm going to agree with you. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Take that back.
No.
We're going to create a wormhole if we agree.
I know. It's like next thing you know, dude, it's like next thing you know, we know us will agree. Chuck will agree with us, and then we'll all have to wonder what's going on.
I would change an opinion I hold dear to my soul just to not make that.
So here's a game that was derived
from the sun to burn out.
This is another one that has sourced behind Dungeons and Dragons. It is
Diplomacy. That thing of which I have none.
Of course, and I heard that this is the game you play if you don't want friends anymore.
Oh,
you start out.
Hey, bring that to TotalCon. I'm just going to set up a card table and have that there.
I don't play that often anymore because they all hate each other. No, it's they used to play diplomacy, and then they would fight out the battles that would happen with miniatures up in Minnesota with Dave Arneson's group. And so diplomacy was basically how they played the Bronstein games. You ever play that with Dave Weasley?
I did not play it.
Bronstein's awesome. That was like the first game where you played
I couldn't get in.
No, I got in. I played the shifty, like underworld innkeeper as opposed to the nice inn, the pub. I played the other inn.
You know what? I want to play diplomacy with Tim Kask. I think that would be a fantastic game.
Well, I don't
for other people to watch.
Face. I think he would know. He like that.
I can imagine the tirade I would have to endure.
He'd probably be really good at it, though.
Oh, he would crush me at it. I am willing to take that bullet.
I met Rocky. I met Rocky the first time I met Rocky Gardner. I met him in that game of Bronstein. Anyway, but yeah, so that comes from my understanding. Literally, is nobody likes you. At the end, you have betrayed everybody twice, and you had close friends for life. And as far as they're concerned,
so I have been playing diplomacy in every game I've ever been in.
So the next one I want to talk about just briefly. I'm not going to open it. I can. It's in shrink. So hold on.
That's what happens when you're an old man and you think you're funny.
No, it was aftermarket shrink. I'm sorry, Skeeter.
All right, it's fine.
This is Squad Leader. I played this. This one I've played. This is what taught me I was never going to do a full-on war game again. So I played for 4 weeks with a guy who lived in Camp Verde. We'd go twice a week. I'd play 4 weeks in Stalingrad. I gained no ground, lost all my soldiers, and so did he. The rules for tanks took so long to figure out which the tank moves, the turret moves, and the armor penetration table was 5 tables.
Jesus Christ, man.
Hey, Peck's just called the shrink police, dude. He's fired, dude.
Whatever.
He can be fired.
I've seen what he does. I don't think he can.
Yeah,
I would never say that to him, but I don't think that's the move.
These are even more exciting to see. You see them? I see there's a sheet. They're hard to tell apart, and they have the most important information you need on them, and they stack up in little piles. To make it worse, you have these contact like things on the top, so you can't even see what they are because they're not discovered yet. It's like fog of war before fog of war in a game.
I can't even. Is that what the millennials say these days? Where's Ben Barsh? I need some terminology rules. Here.
Okay, boomer.
I'm not a boomer, thank God.
You're close.
I'm pretty close.
So
I'm not that close.
But
I am dead center of Gen X.
TSR made the micro tank games. I think this was a similar size of models. You could play this with the chits, but you also could play it on a table with painted models. It was like Warhammer before you could play it in a day. You could play it Warhammer for a year on end. So
yeah, that is. Oh, we have.
You try ASL. I did try ASL, Ruben, and that is what made it last 2 months and not one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would make me insaner.
well, the thing is, I remembered what I was doing, but I had no idea why I thought it was a good idea to do what I do. I had a notebook saying next 2 turns I'm planning on doing this. But in 2 weeks, I knew what I was going to do, but the reasoning behind it was all gone. So
So at least at Enflod, when I went down there and watched you guys play, there was at least models,
yeah,
so I could
and
see
they did
what
it
was
with SWAT
happening.
leader too. But the models for Flames of War to me is it's Warhammer 40K with a patina of World War II stuff. Fun,
Yeah, I
fast.
mean that's at least got something. The giant table that Alyssa was running, that like 12-foot long
Yeah,
table,
oh yeah, yeah. That was
that
the
was
Battle of the
amazing.
Totenberg Forest, right? Yeah,
I
Totenberg Forest. We had a
that
question. Have you ever met Gary Gygax?
have I met him?
Did you ever meet Gary?
I did, and it was a very funny story.
Go ahead.
I was at Gen Con and I was visiting the booth of our friends, the Troll Lords, and
Your friends.
I yeah, they're friends of the frogs.
All right.
There are tons of stories that I am not going to get
Yeah, please
into
don't.
because
I don't want to talk about Davis or Steve, so go ahead.
yeah. Uh so yeah, I was in the booth and I'm looking at the stuff and the the Castle Gygax, the first little folder had come out and there was an option you could buy a signed and numbered folder. So I'm checking it out, I'm looking all through it. I'm looking at the numbers and everything and somebody said, "Hey, can I help you with any of this stuff?" And I'm like, "No, I'm cool. I'm I'm checking this out. I want to get a signed one." And the guy that was helping me was like, "Well, here, hand it over. I'll sign it for you." It was Gary. And I was just like,
Thanks, dude.
uh uh
Lord
just
of all nerds.
yeah, just little old guy sitting on a chair in the booth and I like scurried away because I honestly didn't know what to say
He has
or
done that to every one of the celebrities for TSR. Everyone who wrote stuff the first time Skeeter meets them, he runs away like somebody who smelled pep in the pew.
like a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I do.
You
And
squeeze.
I it catches me off guard and I just flee the scene. I have a strong
Yeah.
fight or flight
Keelan
method.
has the exact right opinion of what it was that you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh honestly, okay, so nobody can ever tell this story.
Hold on, Ruben. I'm going to answer that when he's done. Let me finish the story, but I'll answer the ogre Jeff question.
The first time I ever met Errol Otis was at an airport, and I was with Bill Webb and his daughter Jillian Webb when she was like
7, 10.
tiny kid, and we're loading all of our stuff into this shuttle, and I see this dude looking in the van, looking at us, looking at Jillian, and was like gonna approach Jillian to talk to her. And I'm like, I'm gonna murder this guy. And I like pull an arm back to swat this dude. And fortunately, Bill turned just at that moment and said, "Hey, Errol." And I was like, oh shit, that was almost a disaster. And
And what got worse that day because you had other encounters we won't relate with other first times you met some famous TSR people that you declined to have them sign the books.
yeah. Yeah. There
North
was
Texas back then was like literally it was everybody you ever heard of that wrote D&D and then yourself.
and it was the Wild West. I got to talk to Rob Kuntz one time on the steps in the middle of an atrium, and Rob obviously he totally didn't know who I was or that I worked for Frog God Games. So we're having this conversation, and as I'm kind of not digging what his opinion is about the state of gaming, I start seeing all these people come around in like a perimeter, really kind of interested and curious and making sure that everything is fine. And what finally caught it for me was when I caught Matt Finch's eye, and he's just like, giving me the don't engage head shake. And that was the point where Rob Coons told me that the OSR was bullshit and it was all just garbage, essentially everything we were printing. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting.
No, my favorite part was Doug Ray hooked me up with him because he wanted to publish like a notebook full of notes to put together. He was all excited about it. I talked to him on the phone forever. I could not get off the phone. That was the worst time I ever had getting off the phone. 5 hours on the call, literally. And then I never heard from him again for like 6 months. His whole book, he's supposed to send me stuff and everything. And what found out later was no one ever tells that sucker who's like working with him what they're in for. It's always the new guy who's enthusiastic. It's like, pass the lemon, pass it. And he has interesting. Some of his stuff is really fascinating to listen to, but no. Okay, so I want to answer the question. I want to answer a question.
Okay, and I have 2 more stories about North Texas
right.
that I've never told and are going to be great.
Ruben asked about how come I don't show any love for Ogre or Jev. Well, actually, I just got a notification from Steve Jackson Games that my giant package, over 14 pounds of mini games, is on its way, because I have just enough room just to fit that in before my walls like explode out. So, yep. So there's love for that. I have the Ogre 7th edition, is it? That is so heavy that it makes my shelf like bend. I put it that's one I put together. It took me hours. I did it, and when I was finished, no one will play the game against me. But I have it, damn it. I need a solo mode. All right, so next North Texas story, Skeeter. I think I know.
The first time I went to North Texas, I was with the Frogs, and it was several hotels ago. The day started out very weird. I was almost run over by this dude on a little hover round, kind of scooting around, sort of messing with me and fucking with me. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass. You're an old man in a little stroller thing, man. Fuck you. I didn't say any of this. I was trying to be nice because I'm a guest at this, or I wasn't a special guest. I was just like, I am an attendee of this. I don't want to throw down with this old man. It was Frank Menser, who later on we became, I think, pretty good friends. It was fun. It was just him kind of including and being a fucker, but adorable. I love the guy.
Pex just noticed now with our new tools that we had questions for us in Facebook. I saw a couple of them, but
Kurt Gould is here, so now I'm going to tell some stories.
Boy. Now let's tell the Kurt Gould story.
Yeah. Okay, I may tell the Kurt Gould story, which is actually really funny and has to do with the midnight auction. Almost every year.
Now, see, he came in some time.
But the other story I'm going to say actually involves Chuck. And I have
Chuck Wright,
layout artist, owner, one of the owners of Frogga Games. So I have this deities and demigods with the Cthulhu mythos that I've taken around and had everybody I could find from old TSR sign it.
Everybody alive is what you meant, yeah.
I wasn't going to be all shitty and say that, but yeah, I didn't have any.
No, that's what the point is. That's why I want to get something signed because it matters.
So I have this book of all the living people have signed it, and I was getting, I don't remember. Oh, so I had Jeff D sign it, and I was walking over. He's running a game. This is the same trip as the Frank Menser running me over with his hover round thing. I go, Jeff is running a game in the lobby of this small hotel. And there's like 8 or 10 people. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not going to bug him.
He's running Cave Master when he's developing it.
Yeah. I'm not going to bug him when he's running a game. That's douchey. And the minute I say that, some fucking kid comes up to him and is like, hey, Mr. D, will you sign this? And he's like, stops the game and all this shit. And it's like, sure, I'll sign this. And all those people get up and I'm like, well, now I'm just a joiner, but fuck, I'm going to go have him sign it. So I go over and I'm like, can you please sign this? And I have him sign it and all this stuff. And I was being all deferential. And I come back to the group and Matt is laughing his ass off. I'm like, fuck are you laughing at? And he's like, you look like a geisha when you went over there. You were bowing. You were almost bent completely in half, offering this book up in supplication. And I was like, oh.
Of course you were. Look, first year I went there, they invited me to go along for lunch to help set up. Like, okay. Get the car. Yeah. And I'm sitting down like, so I just didn't think much of it. Like, hi, I'm Jim Ward. How are you?
Yeah.
Steve Ward's like, Steve. I'm like,
yeah.
Winter?
Well, the weird thing.
The guy who wrote Star Frontiers and about 800 modules, that Steve Winter? Nice to
Yeah.
meet you too. How's
So
Lorraine?
how weird is it now? Because he lives up here. When I'm going to North Texas, I see him in the airport and just plop down next to him, like, "Hey, Steve," and we hang out. I got to be in a game with him with Bill in a bar.
Yikes.
It was insane.
I can't tell my best Steve Winter stories, so
So the embarrassing one that involves Chuck is I was getting a bunch of people. It was a different year. Got a bunch of people to sign deities and demigods, and I'm walking around with this book, and somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want me to sign your book?" And I didn't recognize who it was, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good," and just like
I didn't think you'd
walked
tell this
away.
story.
What?
I didn't think you were going to tell this story.
Yeah. And then I just like walked away, and Chuck is looking at me, giving me the hard eye, and I'm just like, "What?"
Where's your problem? Did you threaten
So
him?
then, so then we leave, and we get in uh, the shuttle to go to the airport, and a bunch of people get in with us. And the person who offered to sign my deities and demigods is sitting behind us. And Chuck does the sly lean over and says, "You know, that person that offered to sign your book is Janelle Jaques and is sitting right behind us." And I swear to God, all the blood in my body just froze because I was like, "Oh no." I didn't know. And I'm shitty that way. So there. I'm just glad that we're actually recording this and I can put it on the web and have this saved for posterity.
You know, the good news is I know you can't figure that out. And Pex, you are forbidden to help him.
So, yeah, that's me. If you want to have, if anybody's ever at a convention and they need a distraction, like a train wreck to get out of a situation, bring
Introduce
me
Skeeter to
over.
Peter Atkinson.
So when I met Peter,
I've
that was fucking hilarious. You weren't even there, were you? That
heard
was
all
at
these stories.
Gary Con. Yeah,
He
that
yelled at
was
Lloyd
fun.
Metcalf.
Peter is a very nice man.
Yeah.
He was very cordial and very pleasant. When I told him I was also from Seattle, he was like, "Oh my God, you should come. We're
Yeah.
we're
He
doing
meant
all
it.
this filming. Come down and see the filming." And I was like, and then it scurried
Hey,
away.
Kurt just said, uh-oh. Why did you say uh-oh for? Why would you say that, Kurt? Is there
So
something weird we should know?
so at North Texas, we have this thing called the Midnight Auction.
Oh, yeah.
And every year it gets pretty salty. It
Our
is
wives are in it.
it yes, it has evolved. Zach and my wives, both the gens, Northwest and Southwest gens, are
With
the
this curvy
devilettes.
devil.
Yeah, with this weirdo bottlato. Um, so anyway, it gets pretty salty. It's a whole day of drinking and carousing, and then the auction starts at midnight. And it started with Mike Bottlato trying to get rid of crap from the warehouse.
Yeah.
So it was like,
He
"Hey,
had
here's
garbage
a
that he was trying to get rid of, like empty traveler box.
yeah, here's a module. It's torn literally
And
in
it's
half.
a gatefold module with the wrong module inside.
I'm selling it for $1." And it's like, "Oh, I've got $1." It
Those little books they used to give you outside of school about how bad D&D was, the
yeah,
darkest dungeons, whatever.
I have bought 3 of them.
Yeah, me too.
Um, but it started with like 30 or 40 people, maybe in this little side room that you could
Yeah.
hardly breathe in. The temperature went up about 40 degrees in,
I was the
15
first
minutes.
roast. They picked someone to roast every year, and it was me. That's the night I met Bill Webb. He took my
It's a doubleette.
yeah.
And she's gone.
Bill Webb stole the panties I had printed lesser known logo on. Bill stole them. He put them in his pocket, and they left. I'm like, I guess that's the guy who owns Frog God. Little did I know. Little did I know.
So it started off after a couple of years that some not entirely potentially legal things started showing up
Oh,
in the midnight auction.
not Satan. He would not.
No, I mean never. But yeah, some things that are findable on the web that may have been a legal no-no may have appeared in these auctions that I
I
can
think they're
neither
prototypes.
confirm nor deny.
I think they're
Um,
prototypes.
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were done in a satirical fashion.
I asked Kurt why the uh-oh. He said that's why.
Uh, so yeah, and someone may or may not have bid on these things to keep them out of general
He's trying to
circulation.
keep them off the street and keep kids safe from like
Eventually,
reprinting 40-year-old IP.
eventually, actually giving stuff to the auction to sell.
Oh my God. See now, this is where I tell Kurt's story. I hate that man. I hate him
Oh,
because he spent a year, his only job was to go through the archives of TSR stuff when the Wizards of Gotham, and he'd open boxes every day. Every day. He'd relay the story and be like, there's another box, Dragon magazines. I'm like, you paid.
and the thing is, with all of the cool stuff he can do, it would be super easy to just hate on Kurt, but he
No,
is one of
he's
the most
impossible to hate.
adorable people, just the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah.
So,
And
and he really likes it when you come up to him and give him a great big hug.
I bet. I don't believe you.
No, please never follow through on any advice I give.
No, but the auction stuff was a good time. It's going to be a good time again this year. I assure you.
We're
Satan has
upgrading.
been working with his little elves year round.
Yeah, that was one of the little elves right there.
Yeah.
I think this year we're actually going to even have a PA system so we can hear things.
Well, I think it came down to we outgrown the second room that we'd
Yes.
outgrown, and they had to move us to the ballroom.
We outgrew an auditorium, probably because some asshole walks on the back of all the desks when there's an auction incident.
Could be.
I don't know who that asshole would be.
But you know the best part is that yeah, I know who it was. The best part is the least prepared person is the guy running it. And watching my wife and your wife's face as they're preparing for it to go, and he is so unprepared that it's like a field of like energy. It's like chaos flowing around him. Not evil chaos, just regular chaos.
Well, and rarely do I see the look of disdain on my wife's face when she's looking at anyone else other than me.
Yeah, that was the Skeeter face that she had. Like,
yeah, she gives Mike some serious Skeeter face. The eyes, you can hear them rolling back in her.
No,
head.
you can't. And the best part is that is where you had your hernia. There's a scene of the crime.
Yes,
so I was there. I went to show it was all great. 20 minutes later,
that's actually not where I got it, but I had it before and just didn't know about it.
But I hear Skeeter's in the hospital. Like, again?
That is the only time. So after the midnight auction, trying to wind down, it's like 2:00 in the morning. Find out I've had a hernia and my insides are now on the outsides, and yeah, I need to go to the hospital. This is no bullshit. The only sober person I can find in the hotel is Doug Rea, who is in what at the time was still in chemo treatment, and he had to drive us. And I was like, I am so sorry. And he's
that's a pretty low move, dude.
I know. It was a bummer. But yeah, I think that's it for the stories that I'm going to divulge this time.
Quite a while. I think we should probably we'll save some for next week. We'll make up Kurt stories next week. Tune in next week to have us make up stories about Kurt Gould.
That would be great.
Oh, we remembering batteries this year. Yeah, no kidding, Kurt. That is no kidding. And I told him, I said, do you have batteries? Well, I had the ones from last year. And I knew that moment. Before anybody walked in, I knew at that moment that Mike Balladotto's chaos field is self-inflicted.
Ruben, I am not currently backing Return to Dark Tower because it's a different game. That bummed me out. I mean, it might be as good. It might be better.
I read some stuff about it. It's supposed to be very close, but it's not. It doesn't have the same.
Yeah, I mean that's what I wanted. So
that's the official one, by the way.
I have to save up the $500 so I can get a working copy.
You can get an Oculus Quest. You know what I mean?
I know. I should do that instead. Yes, Pex has kindly reminded us if you have any suggestions for the show other than for us to just stop fucking doing it,
Yeah, if you,
please let
but we
us know
entertain
in
those for
Discord.
money. Hush money.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's a legit possibility people could pay us to just stay off the interwebs.
That would be
That would
cool.
be fine with me,
It's
but
like
I'm
playing
not going to
bids and
do it.
buttheads off campus. I remember I've seen those.
I'm not going to
Please
do it.
please let us know in Discord. Thank you, Skeeter Green. Yeah, the Frog Discord, we have a side channel that we will pop in and check. I may show up there in about 10 or 15 minutes. And if there's I tell you what my wife wants me to do because I listen to her first, and talk about it a little bit and see everybody on the Discord. And I want to thank you for the new format. We had a large number of people at both places.
Yeah, this is
Without Pex,
cool.
we could have probably not done it. Luckily, Pex is made of time. That's how we treat him. He is
Yeah.
made of free time.
I have a feeling if not next week, then probably our show before we go to TotalCon, there will be an appearance by the Devilettes, just
Ooh.
because they are fan favorites and they have been asked for.
Can I
Granted,
not?
it was by one of the Devilettes, but I
Oh,
think
that's
that's
okay.
still fair.
Which Devilette? The one that tell me how to play all the games I buy, or the other one?
No, both of them.
No, they're
I
dangerous
mean,
bears.
fuck, if we're gonna do it, we might as well have them both.
That's fair.
Uh,
All
in
fair.
in the Facebook chat question, having the special guest of Kurt Gould would be amazing. But
Yes,
but I
yes, it
I
would.
think for
But I
legal
think that he
reasons
would
he
fear
won't
for
do
his.
it.
Yeah, I'm not confident, and I would love to have him there, but I can't promise our behavior will be good enough for him to keep a publicly good job like that.
I would say I will be on my best behavior, which still does not mean he would
Yeah, you
even
you know
want
what
to
that
do
means.
it.
You've seen his worst behavior, but it's not much better than his worst.
See you, Jerry. Thank you for watching.
Hey, thanks, Jerry.
You're a scholar and a gentleman.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, everybody. Skeeter Green, you're in control, so you can turn this off when you feel like it.
All right. We've had a blast. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for participating. See you later, bitches. I
Well,
don't
the
know how to
goodness.
stop this.